Welcome to Late Night Vibes with Anil Sohani on NTV Houston. Thank you so much for joining us. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. That's right. Very, 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 very special guests tonight. That's right, 4 varies for episode 4. Dear close friend of mine, CEO of M&A Wealth, as well as PNC Life Insurance and Mac Capital, none other than Mr. Adil Mackwani. That's right. We'll have him in the studio in just a moment. He's a fellow Clements High School alumni, just like yours truly here, Anil Sohani, from Sugar Land and hailing from the, of course, city of Houston, UT alum, as well as graduate of the University of Houston. So go Cougs! I got to give a shout out to my alma mater as much as I can, because can you tell red is my color? That's right. Again, thank y'all so much for joining us. We have a very special guest and studio vibe that we want to give off to you guys. And like I said, pretty pumped. And, life has been so up and down this past year, 2020, right? From the COVID situation to the holiday season now. And really, when I say that, I mean for me, myself, and I. The past COVID year has just been, this whole year, this 2020 has just been a whole COVID experience that I hope wraps up soon. But a lot of holidays are still being celebrated with family and friends and so on. And of course, a little update, I am getting married, so that is something that's on my mind, even when I'm doing these shows sometimes. I kid you not. Some moments I'm at my family gatherings and trying to get the whole wedding planning going, and I'm thinking, oh, I should say this on the show, or I should say that on the show. And then now when I'm doing the show, I'm like, oh my God, did we forget to get a cake? Like, what now? Oh my God, we forgot to get decorations. Like, all this is going crazy. But we're trying to keep it low key, and, wedding planning, while you're planning the launch of a late night talk show, it can get a little extremely serious and nerve-wracking, to say the least. And luckily, I have time to be able to kind of decompress by talking to you fine folks out there on this medium we have here on NTV Houston. Late Night Vibes with yours truly, Anil Sohani. I keep repeating it because repetition is key, and so is consistency. So consistently every weekend we'll be, showing you guys some of the best of my network, my city's network, which is of course Houston, Texas, a beautiful melting pot, which I hope and pray to turn into a melting potluck. And what does that mean exactly? You're probably wondering, because I'm looking at my calendar. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about in terms of holidays. Melting potluck really, again, is taking a melting pot and having each individual member of that melting pot bring something cool or interesting or new to the table from their diverse backgrounds. And so I think that's very important to sustain that environment for a city, for it to grow as a knowledge society and beyond. And like I said in previous episodes, you got the LAs, you got the New York, you got the Chicago. Houston, we have our own style and finesse and vibe and our own clout that we can create for each other. And I use the word clout very rarely. So all the cool kids, all the young kids love it. So I don't know if I consider myself young anymore. I still do when I go to see my family, because all these uncles and aunties, grandparents and so on, so much older than me, of course. So to them, I'm always young. So Forever Young is probably the song that goes on my head whenever I see them. Because I feel like I'm literally forever young in front of them. But that's how it is. Your family is your family. You don't get to choose your family. You get to choose your friends, but you don't get to choose your family. But again, at the end of the day, I'm very humbled and blessed to have them in my life. I'm sure you guys are all watching right now, thinking about the same thing. And it's people say it's a gift and a curse to have a big family. I gotta say, yeah, I have to agree. But the way I've gotten to this point in my life, how I've gotten this far is really more so focusing on the gift, because at the end of the day, the gift is what you have to be grateful for. You know what I mean? So it's like that old saying, right? Yesterday was the past, tomorrow is the future. Today is a gift, therefore it's called the present. I wholeheartedly agree. And I have to say, every single day I spend on this planet, as well as have conversations with you fine folks out there in America and in the world through our channels, it's truly a present, and it's the gift that keeps on giving to me, and hopefully to you all as well. And like I said, the guest I'm having after this segment, wraps up this first segment, he's actually been a good friend of mine for the past, I want to say 9 months. He's my COVID friend. I guess he didn't have COVID, thank God, and hopefully he doesn't. Nobody else has it. but he's my friend I made during the COVID experience, this whole thing that has started. And we started off in radio together. So humble beginnings, to say the least, right? But he's done so much, and I can't wait to have him on the show in just a bit. Other than that, like I said, personal life, a lot of wedding planning going on while planning this show. So it's like I'm trying to balance. It's a balancing act, this life we live, of so many different things from each aspect of our life. And this past month, we've had so many holidays as well that passed. And a lot of them, we celebrated with family or individually, and a lot of them we left, uncelebrated. But if you didn't celebrate a few of these, I think you're going to be okay. Because, for example, Cyber Monday is not really a holiday, but it was the first, of course, Monday after Black Friday, and that's where you get all the cool deals and everything on Amazon and all your favorite places to shop. Amazing is a great place to check out. Amazing, great website. Other than that, again, Cyber Monday also shares this year, actually, another day as well, National Stay at Home Because You're Well in Health Day. There's a day like that. Just search National Stay at Home Because You're Healthy Day or something. It's a real day. And I'm like, why are we still celebrating this? Because we should be staying at home already. And I get it. A lot of people are probably like, out and about. Only time I really come out of the house is, to do this show and, seeing my family for this whole wedding planning ordeal. And like I said, it's just constantly a balancing act I got to do even with family. Wedding preparations as well. It's a, hold on to and let go kind of thing. And I think that's also something that can kind of coincide with how we can view life as well. Because as you're growing older, you're trying to hold on to everything, get everything, in terms of wealth and health and everything you want and everything you need. And then when you have kids or you move on to the next chapters of your life, as you grow older, you start to let go, right? And that's life. C'est la vie, right? But sometimes, times like this, weddings and funerals are when the emotions are the most high. So hopefully pray for me, ladies and gentlemen, that I get through this wedding season with my significant other and I unscathed. And we can continue making these shows without that extra stress factor. I think I have a vein popping out of my head every time I thought of some family member saying something terrible this past weekend or the weekends before pops up during these shows. So whenever I watch these shows on Saturdays and Sundays, I'm like, oh my God, that's the moment where I realized I forgot to call the cake person or the photography people or whatever. So it's crazy. So I'm just trying to hold on, and hopefully y'all are holding on with me while we launch this show. And again, this is the first, a few episodes. So sit tight. We're going to have a great time. And we won't have to celebrate days like that anymore. I think we should just have time to, just be healthy and happy at home. And I'm looking forward to those days. I'm telling you right now. I just want to go to here work, have our 6 feet distance between me and the guest, and of course the team, and then go home to my loving wife. So that's the goal. That's the plan. So fingers crossed this next few weeks goes well. But again, I'm going to have a great time no matter what, because life is too short and you must laugh and live and love. Live, laugh, love, right? There's something like that on a wall or something at home or something. We got glasses that say live, laugh, love. We're that couple. We like to live, laugh, love stuff. You know what I mean? The kind of like the hippie. We're the tree huggers. Anyways, we love hugging the trees and live, laugh, love items in our home. But other than that, enough about me. Let's talk about my guest. And he's almost here. I'm getting little updates in my ear. He's here? Okay, great. We're going to have him in the next segment. Sit tight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with more Late Night Vibes with Anil Sohani on NTV Houston. Sit tight.
Amazing things for you.
59 और वेस्ट बेलफोर्ड पर है नुक्कड़ ढाबा, जहां के मशहूर जमाना बॉम्बे तंदूरी चिकन, पहाड़ी बोटी, चिकन चटपटा और बटर चिकन तो आप जानते ही होंगे। अगर आप बॉम्बे चाइनीज खाना आप पसंद करते हैं तो जरूर उनके चिकन लॉलीपॉप और चिकन चिली ट्राई करिएगा। और एनटीवी ह्यूस्टन का नाम लेने पर स्पेशल है $1.99 में कॉर्न सूप। सुबह 8 से लेकर रात के 2 बजे तक नुक्कड़ ढाबा आपकी खिदमत के लिए खुला होता है। For takeout and other inquiries, call 575-1178 at the corner of West Belfort and 59, Nukkad Dhaba.
During the season's best sales event, Ron Carter Cadillac delivers 0% APR for 72 months plus $2,500 bonus cash on all 2020 XT4, XT5, and XT6. Or drive 2020 XT4 Luxury Collection only $299 a month. 2020 XT5 Premium Luxury Collection just $369 a month. And first ever 2020 XT6 Premium Luxury Collection just $399 a month. All for 39-month lease with just $1 down.
RonCarterCadillac.com.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Welcome back to Late Night Vibes with Anil Sohani on NTV Houston. Thank y'all so much for joining us once again for the remainder of this episode 4, and with yours truly, Anil Sohani, and a very special guest in the studios. Very, very, very. I got to add in a very for every episode that we do, and pretty pumped to have him because I've had him on my shows prior to television, on radio. We did quite a few financial shows to better understand the financial process and investments and so on. And he's wrote a book. It's been on Amazon's top sellers list as well. And he's a millennial, just like myself. Pretty pumped to have him in the studio. The CEO of AWealth, as well as Max Capital, as well as PNC Life Insurance. It's a mouthful. So much is going on. Ladies and gentlemen, Adil Mackwani, come on down.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Great. Chilling like a villain. How are you?
Doing good, man. I can't ask for any better days.
That's what's up, man. So I had to list all of that because I know you said I'll be able to list it, but I had to because it just felt like it was so much energy and excitement going on in those endeavors of yours that I just had to announce them the way that I did. And the first question that comes to mind as a millennial, how and who, what, when, where, why, and how, again, do you manage these crazy, wild endeavors?
So, I mean, a lot of this year has been a big growth year. Like, it's been a lot of growth. I started my company, AWealth, back in December of 2018. Officially launched 2019, January. And then from there, I was able to help my clients in the public markets make sure that their financial planning is correct. And that led me to kind of explore some new avenues. I guess parts of financial planning is investments and insurance. So that kind of led to my private side opening up Mac Capital and PNC Life. And from there, just taking it a day at a time, man. It's just a lot on the plate. So finding the right time management, dedicating enough resources and time to each project. So definitely a balance, a fun balance nonetheless.
I bet, man. I bet. So you're a Houstonian, correct?
Yeah.
You're born and raised.
Born and raised in Houston. Proud, like 26 years. Went to college out in Austin. Came back here, did my master's at U of H, and since then just been in Houston since the remainder.
There you go. So since that whole time frame, I know your parents, the family business is pretty diversified as well, right? So you got your jewelry
Yeah, so
company.
we've evolved. Like my parents, my mom is more of the business. My dad's worked for the government most of his life.
Okay.
And with her, she started off in such a hard laborer's job, coming as an immigrant into America, working at Jack in the Box and working her way up to eventually being able to open up her own business. So we were in the dry cleaning business for a while, and then they eventually went to candy, and now currently we're in jewelry. Wow. And that's been an adventure of its own to learn the processes in and out of jewelry. And it kind of lets me unleash some of my creative side too, being in that sense of just analyzing numbers all day.
Yeah. So were you part of the process? Like you said, you do a lot of the creative work for that jewelry company. So was it like an actual full-blown family business where everyone's kind of doing one thing or another? Because we have a lot of those in our community, right? So
yeah. So I mean, obviously I was young, so at that point in time, I would only help out and maybe just go in the store, which helped me actually learn a lot of customer interaction, retail, just how to talk to people in general. Like most of the time, people are just humans, right? Like it's not just a sale or anything like that. There's trying to buy something to make sure that the person that they're giving it to feels the sense of love that they had seen in that. So just getting a feel of that, and then eventually I wanted to expand more on our name and our brand. And so I started a designer line, and it's called the Treat Yourself line.
Treat yourself.
Yeah,
That's great.
TYS Jewelers is the company. So the Treat Yourself line, we designed wedding rings that are all custom made, and you can add your own influence to it. So it has kind of a base, and then from there we're able to pick and choose what stones you exactly want for your special occasion. So that was a pretty cool experience. And then from there, when I went off to college, kind of broke away a little bit. My whole life has always been finance related. I was president of DECA at Clements. Go Rangers.
So yeah, you're a Rangers. DECA is exactly what? Because I don't think a lot of people might know right off the bat, but I remember DECA.
So it's a business organization. It helps entrepreneurs at a young age find different avenues in business to make sure that they can kind of explore what it takes on an interactive, like in person, and more on a competitive level as well, to make sure that people understand that even in business, there's a sense of growth and achievement, but there's also a sense of competitiveness to who's your competition, who's around you, and how you're trying to grow and differentiate yourself to be an individual. So very humbling and very good learning experience, especially being in the organization at a managerial level and executing and making sure that people are at the right place, right time, making sure we can get as many people to go to state. It was definitely a very learning experience, and being a senior in high school taught me a lot to get prepared for college.
I bet. So with that, you went off to college, you left the nest, right, with your parents, and you went off to Austin and did your thing. So how was that like? Because nowadays, the university life is very different. I had a correspondent at UT. He goes by the name of Amando Sani, and he was pretty much has been my eyes on the streets of Austin and what it's like nowadays for post-COVID campus life. You know what I mean? So how was it back then compared to what you would think?
Fun.
Fun.
A lot more fun. I had a blast, man. 4 years. Should have stayed longer. Should have made it 5. I met some amazing people that I'm still in close connection with. Some of my best friends that I met were in college. And it really was a good learning experience. Growing up in Houston, I mean, it's a very diverse city, but it's also very small if you take it into aspect of being in our brown community. Like, you grow up with them. Those are pretty much a lot of the majority of your friends.
Right.
And being a first generation here, our parents don't really want to stray away, and like they weren't really explorative. They were kind of want to make sure that the culture was still ingrained in our kids, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what they grew up with.
True.
That's what they know.
True.
So when I went off to college, I kind of made it to a pact to myself to make sure that, hey, I want to go explore, learn about all different types of cultures, different people background. And from there, it was a really amazing experience. I don't know if I learned a lot, but I definitely did get to meet a lot of people.
That's scary because you're managing people's finances. So I wonder, like, when it comes to like, of course that's a different time in life. There's a time for everything, right? So you gotta, in order to work hard, you gotta play hard as well. I think there should be a little balance.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that also goes back to when you go to school, you're not really going for. I mean, to me, I thought it was at that point in time I was going to go learn, and they're going to teach me everything. And then I realized very quick that a lot of stuff in finance, and I'm sure it's that in every field, including even your field, that it's a lot of hands-on experiences where you learn things from.
True.
So like school was after learning that and realizing that taking some business courses that, hey, they're not going to teach me how to invest for clients, and that's something I'm going to have to pick up on my own and come up with a strategy.
Right.
From there, I just made sure that I took the time out to educate myself. And I think that's a big thing is, school, like when I look at it, when I graduated, the person to the left and the person to the right of me graduated with the exact same degree as me.
Yep.
So what separates me? Like, what separates me is going to be what I learn on my own. True. And how I can apply it. So I think whenever somebody goes to college, the number one reason you go to college is to network. Because those are the people that are going to either help you in life or you'll be able to learn something from them. You'll learn more off the people that you've interacted with than you will from a book any day of the week.
I wholeheartedly concur because of that. I think every single person you come in contact with, that's my personal belief, it's like looking in the mirror. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like the exact mirror, reflection of what you see yourself in an actual physical mirror, but it's really like different, attributes and traits. And you you start to understand, you share certain things, but then you're so different in so many different ways. So you're the same yet different than everybody else because at the forefront, you're human. And so I think it's like you're saying, a lot of college kids nowadays, I don't know how it is now in terms of like networking other than, using Zoom or Skype or whatever, but it's like different. And I never went into college thinking about the networking fact. I was like, I gotta learn accounting and finance and all these different things. And I think that may have been the significant difference in how your college experience, turned you out to be compared to your colleagues.
Yeah, I think so. And that the first 2 years of college, it was focusing on books, focus on that,
right.
get the degree.
Yeah.
And then I just clicked to me that, like, honestly, like, I'm doing the same thing that this guy's doing. And he's doing the same thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then there's been a whole generation for the last 50 years that this university has been open that did exactly the same thing we did.
Right.
So I realized very quick that it either you feed into the system or you use the system and you use your own mind and you develop something of your own system that can feed other people.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what made me want to do a lot more in business. And I thought that our community wasn't so educated in the financial structure of how capitalism works, how to defer money into taxes and make sure, because it was not something that, like, my parents were busy working, making money. They didn't have time to understand this. They had maybe an advisor come to them, but until you learn it yourself or you understand it fully, then you'll trust somebody. So it's a matter of that education. And that led me to write the book then, because in my first year, I had a lot of the similar questions coming around, like, oh, what is this vehicle versus that? So I wrote a book on it, and luckily it became a good seller on Amazon. I guess it was, I guess people liked the content that I wrote, so I'm thankful for that.
Congratulations on that success. And I remember when you first launched the book, prior to this television show, I did host international radio, and in that whole endeavor, I had quite a few amazing guests, and this became kind of a staple. This was a monthly staple to have Adil Mackwani on the show with Anil. And every month we'll dissect like a chapter of the financial book that he had released on the Amazon and everywhere else. And I'm so happy and proud to see that it got to where it is. So how does that go? So now do people come up to you like, hey, sign my, and then they're like, wait a minute, I don't have a physical copy, I have a digital copy. Can you sign my iPad? They're like even confused. Like,
so there are physical copies. You can buy paperbacks and that.
Okay.
Friends and family, they definitely ask all the time, sign it.
Really?
So that's kind of cool. And I have actually had some like random people that around the city of Houston, not random, but they're like acquaintances that have actually bought the book and read it, and then they came back and told me that, hey, wow, okay, that makes sense. Like when you're talking to somebody versus when they can actually physically read it and digest it on their own. Like if I could tell you something and explain you something, it's probably going to take a day for you to sleep on it, digest it, internalize it, and then from there you can regurgitate it and make sure that you understand it better.
Right.
So like I think that was one of the reasons I wanted to write the book, to make sure that there's a little basic. It's 100 pages, so it wasn't like anything that was super detailed, but it was detailed enough to the point where it makes sense that, okay, these are the steps I need to make sure that I'm financially stable, right?
Have people like pitched ideas to you for your next book? Like, for example, let's just say you did a finance for kids kind of book or something where you have like, Johnny has 50 apples. Can I be like the Johnny? Can I just be like, Anil has 50 apples? I'm not going to eat the 50 apples. I just want to be in the book kind of.
Yeah, sure, man. I can put you in. I'll put you in as a character, Anil with 50 apples for sure.
There we go.
That's the character.
And
right
he
there.
sold it and did all these things.
Yeah, I'll write a children's book next.
That's right.
I think that's a good idea. Like, especially like targeted towards fifth graders and stuff. I think there's concepts. Like, I think we really underestimate our generation, especially the way media's moved. Like, when I talk to my nephews and nieces, and they're like maybe 4 or 5 years old.
Right.
These kids are smart.
Really?
They are smart. They can, like, I mean, we're not talking about intelligence like in doing calculus or algebra, but just common things. Like, like you're like, oh, that's a kid, something a kid would do, or this is like something an adult would do, right?
Yeah.
Like the way that they hold conversations or the way that they understand, I think it's a lot quicker, a lot more intelligently for the age that they are. When we were at that age, I mean, I think we were just goofing out and trying to go out, play hockey on the street,
Sure,
shoot
yeah.
some hoops, and like that was it. Like just get to recess as quick as we can.
I gotta say, whenever a kid, there used to be a show called "Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader" or something like that.
Yeah.
And
With
so,
that, what's his name? Dunn.
I have no idea, but
Yeah.
whenever that show came out, eventually, little kids would be like, "I'm smarter than you," la la la. So whenever a kid, tries to outsmart me, or if they do actually, sadly outsmart me for whatever reason, I start doing things that I know they can't outsmart me or they can't do. I'll bring my beard trimmer. So, how's math? You like algebra, but you can't do this. Like, and they're just like all pouty and stuff. But nowadays, with RBST and almost every food, the kids are having beards thicker than me, so I can't even say anything.
Yeah.
All in all, that's amazing. So, with that, have you thought about doing anything beyond? So I don't even know what you should be even doing beyond what you're doing right now. Because again, you got yourself an insurance company, and you got yourself a financial wealth management kind of thing, and then you have
My private equity.
Private equity. So what's Max Capital? And
Yeah, so Mac Capital.
Mac Capital.
Mac Capital. Yeah, Mac Capital is my private equity holding, and it has three main focuses. One is Mac Funds,
Okay.
which is our internalized funds that we create.
All right.
Use my proprietary investment strategy
Nice.
with the public markets, and then I look for private opportunities, and I'm able to take those returns and pass them on to my shareholders and my investors.
So these private opportunities, do people come up to you like, "Hey, I got an idea for you"? Just like pretend it's the same guy who pitched you that book idea or something that wants to be on your book or something crazed, Mackwani, fan that you have or something that's crazed about you. Like, hey, I got a business idea for you, and they're just like giving you ideas. Have you heard any crazy ideas that you think are like, what were these people thinking when it comes to business?
So that's one of the reasons I did open up the private equity, is that the third part of it is helping the community, and I
Okay.
wanted to make sure that we create community funds where people have resources where everybody has a great idea, right? Not every idea is great.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we act as a filter to make sure that these are cash flow positives, because we do have investors at the end of the day.
Okay.
But we want to help the community and make sure that the businesses have avenues of resources. So if anybody does have a pitch, we do listen to them and we take them into consideration. And then ideally by next year, I want to have at least once a quarter a pitch day, where it's kind of like a Shark Tank way.
But you're
Yeah.
the only shark. That's scary though. You're
Well,
you're
it's
just
me
standing there
and
like, give me your pitch. I don't like it. Leave. At least you have other options with the Shark Tanks. I kind of like it. I don't know if I'm like it.
But I'm probably not gonna bite as hard as them.
Okay.
I'll be a little nicer, right? Like maybe I won't just tell them you're dead to me all of a sudden.
Yeah, Mr.
O'Leary.
Oh,
Kevin O'Leary,
yeah.
yeah.
He's just like, you're dead to me. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's a Cheetos flavored lip balm. What do you mean? You don't like this idea? Actually, Frito-Lay tried it. It didn't work. Watch the last episode. You know what I mean.
Yeah, like definitely some of those chips. I tried some of those funky ones they had.
But they got a lip balm. But they launched a lip balm flavored Cheetos flavored lip balm. So it flopped, obviously, and I just don't. Anyway, so
Imagine the flaming hot one like that.
exactly like it's burning. Like it's just the worst thing. Like I love these so much. They bring out the red in me. Well, because they're on fire. Your lips are on fire. And you need to see a doctor.
My lips are really popping today.
We're gonna take a very very short break. When we come back, we got more with Adil Mackwani. Sit tight, stay tuned, and get some more coffee. Because
Yeah.
actually, can I get coffee, ladies and gentlemen? We'll be back.
During the Cadillac Season's Best Sales event, Ron Carter Cadillac, Houston's only Cadillac to-your-door dealer, delivers 0% APR for 72 months, plus $3,000 bonus cash on both the first-ever 2020 CT4 Luxury Collection for only $449 a month, and the first-ever 2020 CT5 Luxury Collection for just $499 a month, both with only $1 down. Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. Ron Carter Cadillac.com.
59 और वेस्ट बेलफोर्ड पर है नुक्कड़ ढाबा, जहां के मशहूर जमाना बॉम्बे तंदूरी चिकन, पहाड़ी बोटी, चिकन चटपटा और बटर चिकन तो आप जानते ही होंगे। अगर आप बॉम्बे चाइनीज खाना आप पसंद करते हैं तो जरूर उनके चिकन लॉलीपॉप और चिकन चिली ट्राई करिएगा। और एनटीवी ह्यूस्टन का नाम लेने पर स्पेशल है $1.99 में कॉर्न सूप। सुबह 8 से लेकर रात के 2 बजे तक नुक्कड़ ढाबा आपकी खिदमत के लिए खुला होता है। For takeout and other inquiries, call 281-575-1178 at the corner of West Belfort and 59. Nukkad Dhaba.
During the the season's best sales event, Ron Carter Cadillac delivers 0% APR for 72 months plus $2,500 bonus cash on all 2020 XT4, XT5, and XT6. Or drive 2020 XT4 Luxury Collection only $299 a month. 2020 XT5 Premium Luxury Collection just $369 a month. And first ever 2020 XT6 Premium Luxury Collection just $399 a month. All for 39-month lease with just $1 down.
RonCarterCadillac.com.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Welcome back to Late Night Vibes with Anil Sohani on NTV Houston. Thank y'all so much for joining us once again. Segment 3, Episode 4. That's right, we have a very, 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 very special guest in the studio, still sitting tight with us. My dear friend, the CEO of AWealth, Mac Capital, as well as PNC Life Insurance. None other than Mr. Adil Mackwani. What up, what up, what up?
Doing well, brother.
All right. So we tackled quite a bit of the professional life, the serious stuff with the family and all that.
Yeah.
And I want to tackle a little bit more, talk more about the personal side of Adil. Like, what's going on? You know, I don't see you with the tie, so I'm thinking, all right, this guy's ready to relax. And the next dating show is happening now. No, it's not a dating show. I do sound like a dating show host, don't I? I was wanting to.
I could see that. I could see that.
So you know, with all this stuff that's happening, all the aspirations, you know, with the family life as well as because after you know going to college, going away from your family, living solo dolo, coming back and living with your family, you know, the parentals, it might not have been an easy transition. So what was that like? Because I know before you wrapped up with your MBA, you were living with family, and so how was that like?
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, my parents are pretty cool. They're definitely have always been very supportive on anything that I want to do, and to me, it wasn't that much of an issue. Like, I mean, we have a pretty big house, so I'm an only child. I mean, I had 2 bedrooms, so. There was not like it's not a matter of space, if that makes sense.
When you say you had 2 bedrooms, what does that even mean? Time
like
out.
I just like there's only 3 people in a house and there's a 5-bedroom house, so like everyone kind of has 2 bedrooms, if that makes sense.
All right, interesting. All
like
right,
I mean, how many? You don't have guests coming over every day, so like I would like have 1 bedroom and then sometimes I'll sleep in the other bedroom because I got bored of that bedroom.
I get that. We had a guest room, I guess. I'll just get bored and feel like maybe I want to travel tonight. I can't travel much, so I'll just walk to the guest room. I get that.
Dude.
So other than that, so where did the guests sleep if the guests came over? They're like, sorry, both rooms are taken. They're like, you're one of you.
I can't fit in both rooms. I wasn't that big, bro. I can't fit in both rooms at the same time, man.
I know, but like it just sounds funny. Like you can't sleep there because I'm 12 and I have 2 rooms to deal with it. We have a nice couch though.
Well, that's where the imaginary friends came in.
Imaginary friends. Okay, so being an only child. See, we don't get too many only childs on the show. Yeah. So us being an only child individually. So did you had imaginary friends growing up?
No, I didn't.
I had them, but I gave them life by I gave my toy cards. I grew up on Hot Wheels. You know, Hot Wheels, the little toy cards and stuff. So I just gave each one of them, this is Joey, and this is, make up some, female name. I never, did anything like that where you, like dolls, where you put dolls together and make out with them or anything. But I just had 2 cars that rolled around together as best friends or something, Yeah. And every week it'll be a new car and it'll be a new person. So I basically made my own car television show. But the audience was me, the creators were me, and the directors were me, and
the reviews must have been good.
Reviewers were me as well, so they were great, astronomically out of the roof.
5 out of 5 stars, dude.
There you go. We invented a 6-star because it was that good.
It started going diamond level.
Then it became platinum, and uranium is what came next. Uranium level. You can't even touch how amazing these stars were that we reviewed this show. I made up as a kid. So interesting. So as an only child, I kind of share and understand the ups and downs of it. But now, do you feel like growing up, you got a lot more in Urdu or Hindi? It's the term is called lad, or like you can kind of say the only child, the extra special treatment, the extra love, that care goes into it, right?
Yeah.
So do you feel like you're like the ladla, or the one who got the special treatment because you're the only child? Like, were you spoiled, or was it?
Yeah, I mean, I had a really good upbringing. Okay. I had my parents had given me everything that I'd asked for, and I mean, I wish I can do the same when I have kids one day. Like that would be dope. I've always been, I think, appreciative of it though.
Yeah.
Like I've always tried to help. Like if they ever need like work or anything like that, I'm always trying to make sure that I can take care of that. But yeah, I was spoiled. If I say it, and my dad's gonna probably put a comment on it and say, "What? We did spoil you. What are you talking about on this?" So life had been really good for me. My upbringing wasn't really too difficult. My cousins were really close with me. I guess that's the one thing. Being an only child,
Exactly.
I grew up very close with my cousins, and like I started hanging out with them. They're friends a little bit, and like nowadays, like they're like probably maybe 10, 11 years older than me, but it's just they've seen me grow up in that light. And I think since I've launched my own company and all that, it's all the most love from everyone. So it's just having that understanding, and then from an older generation, and then being in a youngin pretty much at that time, you learn a lot. Like you learn a lot, like how people think, because you think a certain way as a kid,
Right.
and they always tell you, oh, it's not going to be that way when you grow up, and you're like, oh, it's different this time, but it's never different that time.
I bet, yeah.
It's always like everyone has a similar story, just different details.
Exactly. Circle of life, I think, applies to everybody, but again, it comes down to the details sometimes. You know?
Yeah, and that's the details that make us unique, right?
True.
Like that's what our individuality is, and I mean, it's been a roller coaster, man, a loving roller coaster. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say every day has been perfect,
Of course not.
but I've tried to keep my down days like maybe that day only, and then look at each day as a fresh new start, and that's helped me make sure that like I'm pretty happy with where I'm at.
There you go.
Personal life, there's always some more improvement. Started doing yoga a little bit more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're doing yoga.
Yeah,
All right.
I started getting back into that, and that's also a very good experience. Like you get to like clear out your head for like an hour and do what you need to do. Like working out, I think, is helpful. So just finding a good balance now. I think that's the biggest thing that I've had an issue with the last couple of years, is finding that balance between work and personal life. And I'm trying to get better at that. Like that's why I think the first 2 years we're setting up the foundation, making sure the companies were structured correctly,
right.
the investors are making their money, and then now I'm able to focus more in on myself and make sure that I do take time out for myself. Like I'm not a working horse. I don't want to work 7 days a week. I mean, I'll be there for my clients and that if necessary, but I'm a human, man. I want to have fun. I want to work hard to play hard.
Yeah, no doubt. So I was wondering, because I've done yoga for a few years now, but I've been on and off. More recently, I kind of got back into it because my significant other is very into the health, healthy state and stuff. So it's just sometimes so difficult because like you want to do it, you want to do the meditations, and sometimes your mind is somewhere else. Like for example, if I'm here right now, I'm simultaneously during launching this show, I'm wedding planning as well.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, I know if you're dating someone or not, whenever you do find the one, or
Nope,
someone
I'm single.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, he's single. Yeah, we got zooming on his face, zooming on my face, zooming on our faces. It's exciting, like a desi, like an Indian. What are those? The TV shows that you watch, the serials, the dramas. Indian dramas. They zoom in on everybody's face.
And then the dun dun dun.
Yeah, like if it's a happy situation, and then they zoom in on everyone's face, have a bunch of transitions. If it's a sad situation, they zoom in with a happy-go-lucky sound, like oh wow, he's single, ladies, he's single.
Yeah.
So make sure we do that, producers and directors of this show. But okay, so you're single. So I'm just saying, whenever you do find the one, I would highly suggest just run away and get married. Just do that, because and my girl knows this very well right now. We're planning this whole like Indian Pakistani wedding.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to do the religious ceremony and get it over with. And even the religious ceremony, all it requires is a marriage license. And actually, I think we have a picture. That's pretty much. Yep. That's pretty much what you're seeing, what you're believing. That's right. That's Adil signing the documents for myself and my significant other's wedding.
That was one of the most interesting experiences of my life this year.
You got ordained to get us married, and I can't thank you any more than,
Dude,
I don't even know what to
I
tell
love
you.
that I was part of that occasion. Like, it's one of those things I will never forget. That like, hey, I actually did this for somebody, and like people say it, or you see it in movies, and you see that their friends do it, and to do that, like, I thought it was a really humbling experience. It was a beautiful ceremony. I thought that it was perfect in the park. Like, weather was nice. Like, it was nice, quick. Family, loved ones were there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else you need. Like everything now, you can always go big and better.
True. Yeah.
There's always bigger and better.
Always. There's always
glitz and glam will always be there. But what's true is what's true, and it was just true love between you and your fiance, now wife, and it's a special moment to be part of that. And I'm glad you asked me to do that. I mean, couldn't ask for that. Was an amazing experience, man.
I would hug you, but we got mics on and it's COVID.
Sure, yeah.
So we got COVID situations and we got mics on, or else I'd hug you. Yeah,
Air fist bump.
Air fist bump. Yeah, there you go. We'll have like an explosion to it or something.
Yeah, some of those transitions.
Like fireballs are everywhere after we explode the hat. Anyway, so yeah, so thank you again. And with that, I'm telling you right now, man, getting that done. The next step was the nikah, like the religious ceremony for Muslim weddings. And now it's like I got all these other things piled on, man. If you watch the first segment of this show, you'll know what I'm talking about because it's so much going on. And again, what you said right there was true is true. And I got to say same thing, man. Just knock it out, run away, tell your parents like, I got a work trip. Where are you going? Bahamas. What do you mean you're going to the Bahamas? You know, it's a very long trip. We got to take care of it, you know?
So my cousin, when he was getting married, he put it to me very well. He put the statement in my head and kind of stuck there. He's like, this is my marriage, but my parents' wedding.
So this is my marriage, but it's my parents' wedding.
Because the glitz and the glam and all of that, most of it's your parents' friends.
Okay.
Or they're like their people that they want to invite. They have their 100 connections and that. With most of the people that are getting married, maybe it's 2 tables or 4 tables, 2 of the grooms, 2 of the brides of their friends. But everyone else is like an acquaintance of the groom or the bride, but it's like a close family friend of the parents.
Yeah, that guy right there changed my tire when I was 14. That's right. I was driving a car illegally. I was driving a car illegally at 14, but he changed my tire and saved my life. So he's at your wedding today, even though you weren't born when that whole interaction happened, right? So like what?
Yeah, it's just it's definitely their party, right? Like that's what I look at it. It's their party, and like if you think about it in that light, then I think it's a little bit more easier on you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I haven't been put in the shoes, so I'm just talking, bro.
Soon. After this show premieres, he's going to get a bunch of DMs. Ladies, slide right into his DMs. Just slide right into his DMs. Sida, you know? Sida, for people who don't know what Sida means, it just means straight in, like right down, you know, go right in there. So now, you know, so did you ever think about settling down? Because now you got all these things going. And like, you know, I'm sure, I don't know if your parents have pressured you in any way, because again, having South Asian parents, I understand that there's always like a need to, you know, have your kids
it's
procreate.
Not an age thing. It's more of like, you're done with school. This is the next step. This is the next step. And we've had that conversation. I think it was just, I'm more focused in on my work at that time. Yeah. And I think now I've started taking the time out for myself a lot more. So yeah, if the opportunity is there, like it's all on kismet, right? Like
kismet, yeah.
At the end of the day, it's your luck. It's who you run into when you run into them. You never, like, I don't know if you knew that you were going to marry your wife in high school.
True.
You just don't know. Some people do, and that's great. But it's just a matter of timing, right? And meeting the right people. I think as long as you're an honest, open person and you just shoot people straight, why hide anything, right? Like, it will happen when it happens.
So do you feel like with the success that you've achieved so far, and God willing, even more, do you think you're going to have to downplay it? Or are you the type that'll be like, yeah, I'm a CEO of all these major companies or something? Because I know a lot of people who actually downplay. Maybe I've watched too many movies. And to be honest, I think maybe because lately, since I'm spending more time with my significant other, we've been watching more romantic films and stuff like that. So usually the prince doesn't want to show the girl that he's a prince. So he's like, oh no, I just work at that restaurant, when his parents own the whole like block or something. And then eventually they fall in love and like, you know, but like, do you feel like you're going to see yourself in a situation where you're going to have to downplay your success? Be like, I own a little company here and there.
I hope I don't have to change me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I downplay things or if I upplay them. I just, if I'm emotional about something and I love something, I mean, you've seen it. Like, you see the way I react when I find like, oh, this has happened, this is happening in my life. I hope people don't take it on as cocky or that as business grows and things get better, hopefully over time. I really would like to have a balance of it though. I think you should celebrate. Give yourself a pat on the back. I mean, you work hard for your achievements, right? Like, nothing was handed to you to get in the position that you're at today. True. That's all your hard work. And I mean, I don't want to have to say that, oh, I worked hard for something and then downplay it either. That, like I put in this much blood, sweat, and tears, and there was a lot of people that helped me get to my point, and now I downplay all those people also. Like, it's just not fair. I think society as a whole, we will see on how much I can do for them. That's what my goal is that eventually I can keep giving back, keep helping. Like, we have a scholarship out for M&A Wealth this year that we're releasing.
Really?
$1,000 scholarship, yeah. For any academic student that's in college. I want to help. I want people to become financially educated so that they understand that I don't have to go do a job or I have to do something for the money.
Yeah.
I get to do something because I love it. And then if I just save my money in this light with the money I make, I will be fine. You don't have to be the richest person in the world to be happy. You just have to find happiness. And finances do make you finding happiness a lot easier. Like, if my finances are managed, your money is managed a little bit, like not personally, but like you yourself take hold of it, you are inclined to live a little bit happier life because it's less stress on you. That's one of the biggest stresses people deal with. So I just hope I can make that burden easier for people and then keep giving back to the community. Like I said, I had a really good, blessed childhood growing up. I don't need all the money in the world or anything like that, but I do want to help the community, and I want people to like me for that, and I want people to appreciate the honesty, right? Like, that at the end of the day, you give what you get. And I've gotten a lot from being born in Houston, raised in this city. Like, this city has been amazing to me. I can't ask for a better upbringing. And if I can do the same and help somebody else have an amazing upbringing, dude, that's the ultimate happiness right now.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So much to talk about. I'm just trying to think. To be honest, it's crazy because we're at the same age, about a couple years in difference in age. Other than that, I feel like like I mentioned, it's like looking in the mirror whenever you meet someone, and you just have to understand what are the traits that you guys share, and what are the different differing traits or the attributes that you possibly you maybe didn't have because of the circumstances that you went through. Because each person, I think, is just a sum of their own individual life experiences, right? Yeah. So, by you sharing all that, it was amazing because it kind of painted a more clearer picture. And I'm all about art and paint. That's why you see all these beautiful colors behind me. And so, I love that you took the time out to do it because I know you got like so much going on, wearing like almost 5 different hats every day. So I just want to thank you so much for coming through and making this episode happen. And
man, family and friends always come first.
That's what's up, man.
Business will be there, and it'll continue to grow. You can always take a day off. It's not going to go anywhere. As long as you keep working hard and you make sure that your friends and your family come first, that's it. Is there anything you want to convey to the viewers out there, people watching? Or you got your own special camera here. Oh, too. I do. Perfect. Yeah, like I think... check out my website, mnawealth.com. We have a lot of financial literacy on there to help educate, especially young kids to even adults. And enjoy life, people. Like, try to smile every day and be happy with the small things in life that go on. Like, take advantage of that. Take advantage of just stepping outside and understanding that, hey, man, I live in this beautiful country. I mean, we have water access. We have sanitation. It's the small things that we underestimate and that we take for granted that I think most people need to be more appreciative. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, just be happy, live a happy life, smile, work hard, play hard, and keep going with the flow. Real talk. Adil Mackwani, CEO of M&A Wealth, Mac Capital, PNC Life Insurance. Reach out to him at mnawealth.com. And is that .com? .com, yeah. There we go, .com. And thank you again, brother. Truly appreciate you coming through. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today on this amazing episode with our very, 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 very special guest. That's episode 4 in the bag. Truly appreciate y'all taking the time to watch the show and learning and growing with yours truly, Anil Sohani, here on Late Night Vibes with Anil Sohani on NTV Houston. I got a new sign out for you guys saying H-Town till I stay down. Peace.